You've probably been in situations where you've tried to say something, but somehow things didn't come out the way you intended. You might have been misunderstood, or worse, the conversation turned into something bigger than it needed to be. It's frustrating. Right, you wanted to communicate your thoughts, your feelings, but the words just didn't land the way you hoped. And the result was either confusion or even worse, drama. So what went wrong? What is it that makes communication so tricky? The answer lies in the way we communicate. We all have the ability to express ourselves, but sometimes our emotions, our fears, or even our past experiences get in the way. They cloud our message and make it hard for others to understand us clearly. The truth is, it's not just about saying what you mean. It's about saying it in a way that the other person can understand and receive it without any unnecessary drama. Now, imagine if you could say exactly what you mean without all the emotional baggage, without raising your voice or getting defensive. What if you could express yourself clearly and confidently, without worrying about how the other person might react? How much easier would your life be if you could communicate with ease, without any drama or misunderstandings? The first key to saying what you mean without drama is understanding your own emotions. Often we react based on how we feel in the moment, and sometimes our feelings are overwhelming. This is where things can get tricky, because when we're emotional, it's hard to think clearly, and it's easy to say things we don't mean. In these moments, it's crucial to take a step back and pause. Before you say anything, ask yourself, what am I really feeling, and why? Getting in touch with your true emotions helps you communicate more clearly and calmly, rather than letting your emotions dictate what comes out of your mouth. The second key is to take responsibility for your words. When we communicate, it's important to understand that we're responsible for what we say and how we say it. It's easy to blame the other person or the situation, but the truth is, our words are our own. They carry weight, and once they're said, they can't be taken back. So it's important to be mindful of the words you choose, and to communicate in a way that's respectful and clear. One of the best ways to avoid drama in communication is to avoid being passive-aggressive. You know what I mean? When someone says something but their tone or body language says something completely different, or when they say one thing but mean another. Passive-aggressive communication creates confusion and tension, and it often leads to misunderstandings. Instead, practice being direct and clear. If something is bothering you, say it calmly and respectfully. Don't let your feelings build up until they explode. Deal with things in the moment in a way that's honest and straightforward. And then, there's the importance of timing. Timing can make all the difference in how your message is received. Have you ever tried to talk to someone when they're stressed, distracted, or not in the right frame of mind? It's not the right time, right? Sometimes we try to communicate when the timing isn't right, and that's when the drama starts. You can't expect someone to listen to you when they're not ready to. So before you speak, consider whether the moment is right. Is the other person in a good space to hear you out? If not, maybe it's best to wait for a better time. Another important part of this is learning how to express your feelings without blaming others. When we're upset, it's easy to point fingers, to say things like you always or you never. But this kind of language doesn't help anyone. It puts the other person on the defensive, and it doesn't solve the issue. Instead, try using I statements. For example, I feel hurt when, or I feel frustrated, because this shifts the focus from blaming the other person to explaining how you feel. And when you focus on your own feelings, the conversation becomes much more constructive. Now, let's talk about listening. Communication isn't just about saying what you mean. It's also about listening to what the other person is saying. Have you ever been in a conversation where you were so focused on what you wanted to say that you didn't really hear the other person? If you're only listening to respond, you're not truly listening. The key to healthy communication is active listening. This means you're not just hearing the words, but you're also paying attention to the tone, body language, and emotions behind them. When you listen actively, you create space for the other person to feel heard and understood. And when both people feel heard, there's less room for drama and more room for connection. It's also important to stay calm. When emotions run high, it's easy to raise your voice or say things in the heat of the moment. But this only escalates the situation. If you can stay calm, if you can keep your voice steady and your emotions in check, you'll be able to communicate more effectively. It's not always easy, but it's powerful. Staying calm allows you to think more clearly, and it helps the other person stay calm too. And when both of you are calm, the conversation has a better chance of being productive. Another thing to keep in mind is that not every conversation needs to be a confrontation. Sometimes it's not about winning or losing. It's about understanding each other and finding common ground. When you approach conversations with the goal of finding a solution, rather than proving a point, you'll see that it leads to more productive discussions and less drama. Sometimes, just agreeing to disagree is enough. And that's okay. Finally, one of the most important things to remember is that communication is a skill. It takes practice, it takes patience, and sometimes it takes a little trial and error. You're not going to get it perfect every time, but the more you practice, the better you'll get. You'll learn to express yourself clearly, without the drama. You'll learn to listen actively and respond thoughtfully, and you'll learn how to approach conversations with confidence and clarity. Now, you have the tools you need to say what you mean. Without all the unnecessary drama, you understand the importance of being clear, calm, and direct. You know the value of timing and how to express your feelings in a healthy way. You're ready to step into the next level of communication. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, because you're going to learn even more tips and strategies to improve your communication in the next video. Stay tuned, and I'll see you soon.